What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 2, and we start the episode off by seeing that Sam Byram probably isn't going to join us. Of course, in the last episode number 1, thank you so much for all the support on that episode. It was uploaded this morning. Go back and watch it if you missed it. We were looking for a new right back, possibly Kieran Trippier, possibly Sam Byram, but unfortunately I don't think we're going to be able to get either of those two players in because it seems like Leeds and Burnley want a bit too much for those players that we're prepared to pay right now. So I don't see Sam Byram coming in or Kieran Trippier either, which is a bit of a shame because the right back area isn't too bad at West Brom. Of course, we've got 2 players on loan from Liverpool and Arsenal in the face of Andre Wisdom and now Callum Chambers, who became my first signing for this career mode, but Gambo as well, the Costa Rican, but still I wouldn't mind a new right back, but it's probably not going to happen. But I also have a question for you guys today. As you see us have the final 2 pre-season friendlies, which we win both, so that means we win our first 3 pre-season friendlies out of all 3 pre-season friendlies. I've got a question for you guys today, and that is, who was your first signing on FIFA 15 career mode? If you're running a career mode as well, if you're just playing for fun or whatever, if you're playing for YouTube, who was your first signing on career mode? Of course, Callum Chambers on loan was mine, but I'll be interested to see who yours was. Did you go for a bit of a squad player? Did you go for a real star signing, or a new goalkeeper you had before? Who was your first signing in FIFA 15 career mode? But anyway, I've been scouting the English first 2 divisions, Premier League and the Championship, looking for some decent players, all over the place really, not just strikers, but, centre-backs, right-wingers, central midfielders. I've been looking at all sorts of different players in the Premier League and the Championship, just to see if I could sign 1 or 2 players to give us a bit more depth to this squad, because this squad, I mentioned in the first episode, it's a really decent starter team. There are some good players here already in the face of Claudio Jacob, Yusuf Malumbu, Sessegnon, obviously Lescott, Ben Foster, players like that, Brown Ade, Berahino, just listing a load of players, aren't I? Some good players here, but one of the problems with this squad is that when you dig into the sort of the subs and the reserves, you're kind of looking at players which aren't really the best. Yes, there are some decent players, particularly in the centre midfield area, that aren't usually in the first 11, such as James Morrison and Graham Dorrans, at least not for my first 11, I don't think they will be, but we kind of lack some good academy players, so that's why you would have seen that we've been looking at players like Will Hughes and Patrick Roberts as well, Dele Alli, Nathan Redmond, Liam Moore, looking for younger players who we could develop for the future, because that's one of the issues with West Brom. I don't really feel like we have enough good young talent. Yes, the obvious player there is Saido Berahino. I know that for sure, obviously, the young striker who is probably going to link up with Brown Ade, but we don't really have too many academy players on our side, 18, 19-year-olds who we could develop for the future. And, with this career mode, what I really want to do is make it a really long one, because my career modes on YouTube do tend to be quite long. Anyone who's been on my channel long enough will tell you that. They tend to be quite long career modes, and that's why, the signings I'm probably going to be making in the first season aren't going to be players who, come in for 1 year and do the job and then, just become decent players after the first year and that's it. I'm looking for academy players who are going to grow and grow and grow throughout this series, because I don't plan to end this series after 1 or 2 seasons. I plan to go on for as long as possible, and that's why I'm going to be looking in our first season not to sign those headline players for, make one really amazing signing for the summer transfer window that costs us £8 million and that's it. I want to sign 3 or 4 really good young players who we can develop for the future, who at the first, maybe reserve/bench players, but in the future they could be first team star players for this side. So that's why I've been looking at players like Patrick Roberts and obviously Nathan Redmond and Liam Moore and Will Hughes and players like that. Very decent young players who could develop for the future. And again, we may overspend on a few of these players, but I'm definitely planning on doing that for West Brom. Again, I know I could probably sign 1 or 2 really key players, but I want 3 or 4, possibly even 5 really quality youngsters to develop for the future. So we go back in for Will Hughes. Of course, the Derby midfielder is a real talent, only 19 years old, 70 overall. I'm confident this guy's got mid-80 potential, looks very, very good indeed. Jordan Rhodes, we can't seem to get hold of him from Blackburn. I'd like to sign him as a backup striker because he's a very clinical finisher. Anyone who's watched him play will tell you that. He's a very, very good finisher of the ball, but I don't think we'll be able to get hold of him because it seems as though he doesn't want to leave Ewood Park and Blackburn don't want to sell him. And also as well, Norwich rejected a bid for Nathan Redmond. He'd be a very good winger for us. He'd be the type of impact sub that could come on with 20 minutes to go, run its tired legs, but I think he's going to cost us a bit too much money. We're probably going to be spending like £6 million on Redmond, which I don't really want to do. And also as well, there are other players like Andy Carroll I was looking at as well. He may not be one of those young players I was talking about, but still, I'm sort of thinking maybe we could sign 1 really decent experienced player and also add a few youngsters as well. But the media have tipped us to finish 18th this year, which I think is really, really harsh. I mean, I think that's a bit of a that is just harsh. You know, I mean, I'd sit there and say it could be okay. You know, at the end of that, it could be an okay prediction, 18th place. But when you think about it, you know, we've got a good squad to start with. And I think 18th is quite harsh. We've brought in Nastasic as a really good centre half. He was listed as our key player there. Lescott as well at 79. Obviously, a day 76, I do believe, or maybe 77. We've got some decent players, and I think that 18th is kind of a harsh prediction, really. But even so, we're still trying to sign a few more players. And obviously, I think Liam Moore looks like he's on his way to Hull City now, which is a shame because he could have been a good backup centre-back for us. But regardless, we didn't really manage to sign anyone before this game against Sunderland, which was, of course, going to be the opening day of the Barclays Premier League. But we did put in a few bids, a few inquiries, things like that, just to sort of show the clubs we are interested in their players, and we'll be coming back with some more bids in the future. But again, I think this year as well on FIFA 15, it seems as though it's actually harder to sign players on the cheap. It seems like you've got to spend a bit more money than you used to, because these are the type of players who I was thinking we'd get for like 1 or 2 million max. It looks as though we're probably going to have to spend, you know, on some of those players, particularly players like Redmond and Hughes, double that, which is a bit of a shame really, because it seems as though player valuations have gone up a bit, which I guess is a bit more realistic nowadays. But still, it's kind of frustrating when you've got a limited budget. But still, I took on Sunderland with this West Brom side for our first competitive game of this series in the opening day of the Barclays Premier League. As you can see, this is the side we lined up with. It was a 4-1-2-1-2 with 2 wide midfielders, 1 defensive midfielder and 1 attacking midfielder. Claudio Jacob, who's coming back from injury, was on the bench in this game, not ready to play just yet. Callum Chambers would start a right back, Nastasic in the centre half position as well. So a couple of new signings going to make their debuts in this game. And as we took on Sunderland, I definitely fancy our chances of winning this game. Now, I know Sunderland aren't too bad of a side. They do have some good players in the face of Jacquerini, who's a very decent player in my opinion, but some decent players regardless. But I definitely fancy our chances of winning this game. And we won a free kick in the 3rd minute as Varela got tripped up by his man, and Chris Brunt stood over this free kick. I gave it to him. He's got a really awesome delivery, Chris Brunt. I said in the first episode, not too much pace, but a really good delivery. So I tried to aim for the centre of the area, try and take out the defenders, find a runner. I found one in Brown a day, and we took the lead here at the Hawthorns just 3 minutes and 23 seconds in. It was the Nigerian getting his first goal competitively for the club as he celebrates with Chris Brunt, the man who got the assist from the free kick. And that's what I said about Chris Brunt in the first episode. He's got a great delivery, he really does. And that was a wonderful ball into the centre. It was exactly where I wanted to play the ball, into that sort of middle of the penalty area where, you know, no defender's going to be first to the ball. It's always going to be the striker to run onto it. And if he just nods the ball on, there's no need for power on the header, just flick it on backwards with the header. That's exactly what Brown and Day does. Flicks it backwards, puts it into the back of the net. No chance for the former City goalkeeper Pantilimon. The West Brom fans can celebrate because we take a 1-goal lead very early on in this game. So what a fantastic start, exactly what we wanted, and a brilliant beginning here at the Hawthorns. But in the 18th minute, Billy Jones finds Liam Brigcut here, who plays it inside towards Stephen Fletcher. He finds Jack Rodwell, the former City man. He finds Jacquerini. The Italian swings the ball in, and I've got to be honest here, I made a huge howler with Jolie and Lescott. I was guilty of ball watching. The challenge came in. Eventually it was played towards the centre of the area, and Liam Brigcut had an open goal which he was not going to miss. So Brigcut does equalise for Sunderland, although I was a little bit frustrated. I mean, it was my mistake, don't get me wrong, but I actually think personally this could have been a foul on another day, because you'll watch this as Lescott gets taken out. The tackle comes in from behind, and yes, the ball is won, but in my opinion I would have given a free kick there if I was the referee. Maybe a bit of bias, but personally speaking I thought it was a foul, but maybe not. We'll just say it was a good goal and my mistake, because we don't want to make excuses early on. So yeah, my mistake with Lescott there, and it's 1-1 and Sunderland are equalised. But he had a good chance there in the 24th minute. They threaded the ball through towards Stephen Fletcher, but his shot went harmlessly over the bar. And in the 48th minute, just after the restart into the second half, Stefan Sessegnon, playing against his former club, slides the ball forward towards Brown a Day, looking for his second goal of the game, gets taken out. The referee doesn't blow for a free kick, but thankfully he doesn't, because it's Sessegnon who follows up and makes it West Brom 2, Sunderland 1. So no celebration, showing respect against his former club. Sessegnon makes it West Brom 2, Sunderland 1. And again, I thought it was another foul there. You know, that's the second time where I felt as though we should have had a free kick and didn't get it. But this time, I'm glad we didn't get it, because the ball fell kindly into the path of Stefan Sessegnon. He's a very decent attacking midfielder, and he's never going to miss that chance. So a Day would have been frustrated. He wouldn't get the chance to score his second goal of the game, but Sessegnon did make it West Brom 2, Sunderland 1, and we move back in front. With 20 minutes to go, Sunderland had a throw in. They take it and play it backwards towards Virginie, but he's guilty of ball watching just like Lescott was. It comes to Chris Brunt, who collects the ball. Great chance for Brunt to make it 3-1, and he does. Drills it past the goalkeeper Pantilimon and puts us on course for a definite 3 points. And again, Brunt may not be the quickest of players, but he's got a very good end product, and again it's proved there. And a goal and assist for the West Brom number 11, who As you've seen, I have actually taken off captain duties for our side. I don't know why, but I always tend to change the captain when I move sides, so now it's Ben Foster. But even so, it was Brunt who made it 3-1, and with 11 minutes to go, we'd end up sealing the game and making it 4-1. Another goal for Stefan Sessegnon, his second of the game against his former club. It was Berahino who won the balls, he went on the counter, he stopped the ball, held it up, played it inside towards the path of Sessegnon, and again, Stefan Sessegnon was not going to miss. So Sessegnon makes it West Brom 4, Sunderland 1. We're on course for a fantastic 3 points for the opening game of the season. And, you know, coming into this game, we should have won this game. You know, we were obviously going to be the favourites going into this game, even with a few changes to the side. And obviously, you know, your first game, you're obviously a little bit nervous. We should have been favourites, and we were on course for a big win. But I certainly didn't expect a 4-1 victory. Now, maybe 1 or 2-0 or 2-1 or 3-2, but 4-1 was going to be a fantastic victory for us and a brilliant way to start this season off. And it could have been 5-1 in the 90th minute. We were on a free kick from just outside the area. Craig Gardner was standing over it, and as Chris Brunt was taken off the pitch, I thought Gardner's our next best free kick taker, so I tried to drill it into the near post with Pantilimon, trying to catch the giant goalkeeper out, but unfortunately it was a good save by the former City goalkeeper, and he denies Gardner from doing what Sessegnon did and scoring against his former club. So still West Brom 4, Sunderland 1, and in injury time again we could have made it 5-1. Brown today finds Claudio Jacobi, finds Samaras. Samaras collects the ball, and I actually thought we should have been given the goal, because the Samaras shot, it was going into the back of the net, and the referee blew for full time as it was about to go into the open goal. So kind of frustrating we weren't allowed a 5th goal there, but even so, we win the game by 4-1, and it's an absolutely fantastic start to this season. So as always guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, then please do leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.
I'll leave you with a full